The sleek Zephyrian exploration vessel Star Whisper drifted silently through the debris field of what had once been a thriving star system. Commander Vexital's 4 eyes scanned the holographic displays, each pupil dilating independently as they processed the scattered remnants of ancient technology floating in the cosmic graveyard. "Commander," called Science Officer Quilks from her station, her crystalline voice ringing with excitement. "I'm detecting something unusual. There's a massive energy signature hidden behind that asteroid cluster, something old, very old." Vexital's chitinous fingers clicked against his command chair. In his 3 centuries of exploration, he had learned to trust Quilks's instincts. The young Zephyrian had an uncanny ability to sense technological anomalies that others missed. "Take us closer," he ordered, "but maintain defensive postures. These outer rim systems have been known to harbor automated defense networks." As the Star Whisper maneuvered around the asteroid cluster, the crew fell silent. Floating before them was a ship unlike anything in the known galaxy. It was massive, easily dwarfing their own vessel, with a design that seemed both elegant and brutally functional. Dark metal plates scarred with what appeared to be battle damage covered its hull, and strange symbols were etched along its sides. "Commander," Quilks whispered, her voice trembling. "The energy readings, they're off the charts. This ship is still partially powered after... She paused, checking her instruments again. "After 100,000 years." Senior Navigator Thorne, a grizzled veteran of countless expeditions, leaned forward in his seat. "What species builds ships that last 100 millennia and keeps them running?" The question hung in the air like a challenge to the universe itself. "I'm detecting life signs," announced Communications Officer Yura. Faint, but definitely present. 2 beings in some kind of suspended animation. Vexital made his decision quickly. "Prepare a boarding party. Quilks, Thorne, you're with me. Full environmental suits and translation matrices activated." The airlock of the ancient vessel opened with surprising ease, as if it had been waiting for visitors. The corridors beyond were dimly lit by emergency power, casting eerie shadows on walls lined with what appeared to be weapon racks and tactical displays. Everything was built on a scale slightly smaller than Zephyrian standard, suggesting the builders were roughly humanoid but more compact. They followed the life signs deeper into the ship, passing chambers filled with technology that Quilks could barely comprehend. "Commander," she whispered through the comm, "some of these weapon systems, they're designed to crack planets. What kind of species needs that level of firepower?" They found the source of the life signs in what appeared to be the ship's medical bay. 2 pods hummed softly, their transparent surfaces revealing the occupants within. Vexital approached cautiously, his universal translator working to decipher the alien text on the control panels. The first pod contained a female of the unknown species. Her features were delicate, yet somehow conveying an impression of incredible resilience. Dark hair floated around her peaceful face, and even in suspended animation, there was something about her expression that suggested an indomitable will. The second pod held a male of the same species, his features more angular but bearing the same underlying strength. Both appeared to be young adults, though with alien biology, appearances could be deceiving. "The translation matrix is making progress," Yura announced through their comlink. "I'm getting partial readings from their ship's logs. The species calls themselves humans. And Commander, you need to see this." Data began flowing across their suit displays. Quilks gasped as the information processed. "This can't be right. According to these records, these humans have been at war for over 100,000 years. Not just one war, continuous warfare across hundreds of star systems." Thorne's gruff voice came through the comm. "Look at these battle records. They've fought silicon-based hive minds, energy beings, mechanical civilizations, biosynthetic horrors. They've encountered every nightmare the galaxy can produce and somehow survived. But it was the final entry that made Vexital's blood run cold." "Last log entry," Yura translated, her voice barely above a whisper. "Captain's log, stardate 8/47/2293. We've received word that Earth has fallen to the void swarm. The homeworld is gone. All colonies in the inner systems have been consumed. Liana and I are the last survivors of the human defense fleet. We're entering suspended animation in the hope that someday, somehow our species might find a way to rebuild. For humanity's sake, may the universe forgive us for failing. The boarding party stood in stunned silence. They had discovered the last remnants of a species that had fought impossible odds for 1,000 centuries, had faced extinction, and had still found the courage to hope for the future. "Commander," Quilk said softly, "the stasis pods are designed to automatically revive the occupants when they detect non-hostile intelligent life. They're going to wake up soon." As if summoned by her words, the pods began to hiss and steam. The transparent covers retracted, and the two humans began to stir. The female, Liana, according to the logs, opened her eyes first, immediately, alert despite 100 millennia of sleep. Her gaze fixed on the three alien figures surrounding her pod, and instead of fear, Vextal saw something far more unsettling in her eyes. Tactical assessment. The male awakened moments later, his hand, instinctively reaching for a weapon that was no longer there. Both humans sat up slowly, their movements controlled and precise despite their long slumber. Liana spoke first, her voice clear and strong despite the circumstances. The translator rendered her words. "How long?" Quillix answered honestly. 100,000 years. The humans exchanged a look, a conversation in glances that spoke of shared experiences beyond the understanding of most civilized species. Then Liana smiled, and somehow that smile was the most terrifying thing Vextal had ever seen. It wasn't cruel or malicious. It was the smile of someone who had stared into the abyss for so long that they had learned to smile back. "Then," she said, climbing gracefully from her pod, "we have work to do." The male rose beside her, his expression equally determined. "The war isn't over," he said simply. "It's just beginning again." As the Zephyrian crew watched, the last two humans in, the universe began to power up their ancient warship, ready to continue a fight that had already lasted 1,000 centuries. In the darkness of space, something stirred in response to the ship's awakening energy signature. The Void Swarm had been waiting too. And somewhere in the galaxy, other species would soon learn why humans had earned the right to be legends, and why some legends were better left undisturbed.